This season of Heartland brings a shocking dilemma. Amy Fleming, torn between two worlds, two hearts. Will she choose the man she's always loved, Ty, who's returned against all odds, or Nathan, the man who's been there for her when she thought she had lost everything? As secrets unravel, emotions run high, and the stakes rise, one question will dominate Amy's mind. Who will she choose? This is Heartland like never before. Raw, real, and heart-pounding. The opening of season 19 finds Amy Fleming in a fragile state, emotionally drained from the events of the past. The world as she knew it has shifted drastically, leaving her with a profound sense of loss after Ty's death. While the grief of losing him will never fully fade, Amy has found a semblance of peace, embracing her role as a mother to her daughter, Lindy. She's built a life without Ty, surrounded by her family at Heartland. And yet there's always been an emptiness, an unspoken yearning for the man who was her anchor, her partner, and her soulmate. When the news breaks that Ty Borden is returning, it's nothing short of a miracle. Fans of Heartland know the devastation Amy felt when Ty was taken from her, and the shock of his sudden return sends shockwaves through the community. But this isn't the Ty Amy remembers. He's different. The months, perhaps years, in between his death and his return have changed him. The trauma of his past still lingers, and Amy finds herself caught between the man who once was and the man who stands before her now. While Ty's return brings overwhelming joy, it also comes with a complex weight. There's the question of whether their bond can ever be the same again. Ty's presence rekindles old flames, but the path forward is uncertain. Can Amy simply pick up where they left off, or does she have to reckon with the time that has passed and the changes that both of them have undergone? Ty's return reawakens a love that Amy thought was gone forever, but now she must face the fact that their time apart has left scars, and things can never truly go back to how they were. But there's another complication. Enter Nathan, a man who has stood by Amy through the darkest period of her life. When Ty passed, Nathan was there to offer his unwavering support, his loyalty, and his heart. He became a pillar in Amy's life, filling a role that she never thought anyone could. Nathan understands Amy's grief like no one else, and has quietly grown close to her, not just as a friend, but as someone who has always seen her for who she truly is. The chemistry between Amy and Nathan is undeniable. He offers a stability and understanding that Amy desperately needed in Ty's absence. Yet, deep down, Amy knows that her heart belongs to Ty. She has never fully opened her heart to Nathan the way she did to Ty, but with the sudden return of Ty, everything is thrown into chaos. The question now is, can Amy reconcile her past with her present? Can she truly let go of the man she thought she'd lost forever? Or has Nathan become the man she can turn to for the future? As Amy navigates this emotional whirlwind, the pressure intensifies. The community around her, family, friends, and the Heartland Ranch, watch anxiously. They all have their own thoughts on what Amy should do, but no one can truly understand the weight of the decision she must make. Each day is a constant reminder that she must choose, but no matter what, someone will be heartbroken. The emotional pull between Ty and Nathan forces Amy to confront not only her past, but also her future. She must ask herself, is love enough to bridge the gap between the man she lost and the man who's been there for her? Or is it time to let go of the past, and perhaps the love of her life, to build something new with Nathan? The tension is palpable, and with each passing episode, it becomes harder for Amy to ignore the monumental choice before her. The deep emotional stakes of this love triangle will captivate viewers as Amy faces the hardest decision of her life. Both Ty and Nathan bring something different to the table, but only Amy can decide which path her heart will follow. As we dive deeper into the twists and turns of season 19, one thing is certain: the decision will change everything. Amy's journey through this heart-wrenching decision is far from simple. On one hand, she has the man she thought she would never see again, Ty. His sudden return is as much a miracle as it is a burden. Ty's reappearance stirs up every emotion Amy has spent years trying to suppress. The love they shared, the life they built together, it all comes rushing back, and she's forced to confront feelings that never truly went away. But Ty's return isn't a fairy tale. The time that's passed has left its mark on both of them. Ty is not the same person he was before his death. The time he spent away has left him scarred, emotionally distant, and perhaps even unsure of his place in Amy's life. Ty's past isn't easily forgotten, and the time he spent on the other side of life, whether in the afterlife or in his own emotional exile, has changed him in ways Amy could never have imagined. He's not just coming back into Amy's life, he's coming back to a world that's moved on without him. Ty tries to reconnect with Amy, but his attempts are met with a mix of joy and hesitation. She's overjoyed at his return, but the scars of his death and the time apart weigh heavily on her heart. Amy had to grow up without him, learning how to be both a mother and a woman who had lost the love of her life. Now that he's back, there's a deep sense of guilt, like she's betraying her own journey toward healing. She questions if she's been too harsh in moving forward without him, or if she simply can't go back to a time before his death. Her emotions are further complicated by Nathan, who has been a constant in her life throughout this painful period. Where Ty had been absent, Nathan had stepped in, not to replace Ty, but to be a friend, a confidant, and a support system when Amy was at her lowest. Nathan has been a steady force, offering her the space to grieve without rushing her into any decisions, while also showing her kindness and care in a way that gradually blossomed into a deep emotional bond. Nathan, in many ways, has become the person who understands Amy's pain, and he's never pressured her to move on from Ty. His feelings for her, however, have deepened, and he's ready to take the next step. But now, with Ty's return, Nathan faces a situation he never thought possible. He knows Amy's heart is forever tied to Ty, but he also knows the love and connection they've shared. As the tension rises, Nathan finds himself standing in a precarious position. How can he compete with the ghost of Amy's lost love? Is it even fair for him to ask Amy to choose between them when he knows her heart will always belong to Ty, no matter what happens? In private moments, Amy struggles to express what she's truly feeling. She finds herself caught in a whirlwind of emotions: love for Ty, gratitude for Nathan's unwavering support, and guilt over the thought of choosing one over the other. There are moments when she wonders if it's even possible to have both. Can she have the life she dreamed of with Ty? Or has that chapter in her life closed forever? Can she build something new with Nathan? Or is it too soon to let go of the love she once had with Ty? Meanwhile, Ty, despite his efforts to rekindle their bond, is still grappling with his own emotions. He wants to be the man Amy once knew, but he feels disconnected from the woman she's become. The journey to reunite isn't just about finding each other again, it's about discovering who they are now and if they can fit together in this new version of their lives. Ty doesn't expect things to go back to normal, but he can't ignore the love that still exists between them. The hardest part for him is watching Amy, his wife, and the mother of his child grow as a person without him, while he struggles to understand how to fit back into the family he left behind. Ty's vulnerability is both heartbreaking and endearing. He's not the same confident, driven man he once was, and that leaves Amy questioning what kind of future they could possibly have. The emotional distance between them is evident, and Amy can't help but wonder if it's too late for them to reconnect in a way that feels real and true. The pressure to make a choice feels overwhelming, and every moment spent with Ty only heightens her inner conflict. This dilemma is further intensified by the fact that both Ty and Nathan are, in their own ways, trying to protect Amy from the pain of the past. Ty, though returning from the grave, wants to support her, but he knows that doing so might be more complicated than either of them can handle. Nathan, ever patient and caring, understands Amy's hesitation but is ready to fight for her heart, even if it means competing with the ghost of a love that once defined her life. Amy's struggle becomes not only about love, but also about identity. Who is she now? The woman who lost everything and was forced to rebuild, or the woman who is being given a second chance with the man she loved? And what about Nathan? Can she truly let go of the steady support he's provided, or is she simply afraid of what life might look like with someone who isn't Ty? As season 19 progresses, Amy is pushed to the edge of her emotional limits, and viewers will be left wondering, will Amy let go of the past for a future with Nathan, or will the pull of her first love, Ty, prove too strong to resist? With each decision, the stakes rise, and the consequences of choosing one man over the other become ever more devastating as the emotional tension mounts. Amy finds herself trapped in a whirlwind of confusion. The pressure of her decision weighs heavily on her, and every moment with Ty brings a mixture of joy and uncertainty. She's never stopped loving him, but the person standing before her is different. Ty's resurrection has reintroduced a love that she thought was lost forever, but the emotional scars left by his sudden death are not easily erased. How can she fully embrace Ty when she feels like she has moved on in ways she never imagined? Can she forgive herself for finding a new life without him? Meanwhile, Nathan, ever perceptive, senses Amy's internal struggle. His patience, once a source of comfort for Amy, is now tested. He's aware that the love Amy shared with Ty runs deep, but he's also aware of the space he's carved in her life. Nathan has been there for her through her darkest days, offering his unwavering support and a calm, steady presence that Amy has come to rely on. He's not trying to replace Ty, but rather to help Amy heal, to remind her that love can come in many forms. Yet, with Ty's unexpected return, Nathan begins to wonder if he's been living in the shadows of a love that will always belong to someone else. As the weeks unfold, Amy begins to feel the weight of her decisions in a way she never anticipated. Every glance, every conversation with Ty reminds her of the love they shared, their dreams, their family, and the life they were supposed to have together. But in the quiet moments, she is forced to confront the painful truth. Ty's return has disrupted the life she's worked so hard to build without him. The love they once had is still alive, but it's not the same. Amy's grief, while still present, is more complicated now. The woman who once stood strong in her identity as Ty's wife has evolved into a different version of herself, one who has learned to cope with loss, one who has found strength in her own independence. In contrast, Nathan remains the steady hand that Amy leans on, never pushing, always there to help her see the world through a new lens. He's been a quiet confidant, offering both emotional and physical support without asking for anything in return. As their bond deepens, it becomes clear that Nathan has his own feelings for Amy, feelings that go beyond friendship. He's grown attached to her and her daughter Lindy, and while he understands the depth of Amy's love for Ty, he can't ignore the growing connection between them. He knows he can offer Amy a future, one that isn't haunted by the past, but he fears that no matter what he does, he'll always be living in the shadow of Ty. In moments of solitude, Amy finds herself torn between the memories of a love she thought was lost forever and the reality of the life she's built with Nathan. She begins to question if she's holding on to Ty out of fear of the unknown, fear of what it means to move on, and fear of losing a love that defined her. But there are also moments when Amy wonders if she's simply afraid to let go of the past, of the man who once filled her life with hope and happiness. As Ty and Amy attempt to rebuild their relationship, there's a quiet understanding between them that things can never go back to how they were. They are both different people now, scarred by the events that have shaped their lives. Ty's return isn't just about rekindling old flames. It's about learning how to navigate a new reality, where both of them are different, yet still bound by the love they once shared. But that love isn't enough to erase the distance between them. The dynamic between them is no longer the same. The comfort of their old life is gone, replaced by the reality of who they've become since their separation. For Amy, there's an intense longing to return to the days when things were simpler, to the days when Ty was by her side, helping her navigate the challenges of life and love. But the more she tries to reach back to those moments, the more she realizes that they're gone. The love she has for Ty is still real, but it's been colored by time, loss, and the uncertainty of what comes next. In contrast, Nathan provides a stability that Amy needs, a future that promises a sense of normalcy, but can she embrace a life with him when her heart is still anchored to Ty? It's not just about love, it's about trust, about the willingness to take a step into the unknown with someone who has been patient, understanding, and unwavering. Nathan offers her a chance at happiness, at a life without the pain that Ty's death left behind, but Amy isn't sure if she's ready to let go of the love that once defined her life. The decision becomes increasingly complex as the emotional stakes rise. Amy's heart is in turmoil, caught between two men who mean so much to her for different reasons. Every decision feels like it's irrevocable, Every moment spent with either Ty or Nathan brings more doubt, more confusion. It's not just about love. It's about healing, moving forward, and finding a future that doesn't feel like betrayal to the past. This emotional tug of war forces Amy to confront the most difficult question of her life. Can she truly move on from Ty and embrace a future with Nathan? Or is her heart forever tied to the man who once was? The more time she spends with each man, the more Amy realizes that no matter what she chooses, someone will be left heartbroken. The fear of making the wrong decision, of losing both men, is almost too much to bear. But in the end, the only person who can make this decision is Amy. And as season 19 unfolds, the weight of her choice grows heavier with every passing day. As Amy continues to struggle with her decision, the weight of the choice she faces grows ever more intense. The longer she hesitates, the more she realizes that this isn't just about choosing between two men. It's about choosing what kind of future she wants for herself, her daughter Lindy, and the legacy she and Ty had started building. Every decision she makes will ripple through the lives of everyone she loves, and the consequences will be far-reaching. The community around Heartland watches with bated breath, knowing that Amy's decision could alter the course of not just her own life, but the future of everyone at Heartland. Ty, though desperately trying to reconnect with Amy, begins to sense the depth of her conflict. His presence brings back memories of their past, but he also feels the weight of the gap that's opened up between them. Despite the love that still exists between them, Ty realizes that their past isn't a guarantee of a future together. Amy's life has moved on in ways that he can't fully comprehend, and he's unsure of how to bridge the distance between them. Though he wants to be the man she once knew, he's afraid that it's too late. His time away and the emotional scars that both of them have accumulated over the years have created a chasm that feels impossible to cross. Ty's vulnerability is raw and painful. He's trying to find a way to be the man Amy needs him to be, but he can't help but wonder if that man even exists anymore. His return was supposed to be a miracle, a chance for the two of them to rebuild their life, but it quickly becomes clear that nothing is as simple as it seems. The love they shared has been tempered by loss, grief, and the passing of time. For Amy, Ty's return stirs up feelings she thought were long buried, but it also forces her to face the reality that some things may never return to the way they were. Meanwhile, Nathan, patient as always, waits in the background, respecting Amy's need for time and space. But as the emotional tension between Amy and Ty escalates, Nathan begins to feel his own heartache. He loves Amy, truly, deeply, but he's no longer sure if he can be the man she needs. He's always known that Amy's heart belongs to Ty, and while he's never tried to replace that love, the reality of the situation is becoming clearer with each passing day. Nathan can't ignore his own feelings for Amy, but he also can't deny the fear that she may never choose him. The uncertainty gnaws at him, leaving him conflicted about how much longer he can stay in the background while she grapples with her feelings for Ty. The emotional strain begins to manifest in unexpected ways. Amy starts to feel isolated, as though she's caught between two worlds that don't fully understand her. She loves Ty, but she's also learned to love Nathan in his own way. The bond she shares with each man is unique, but each relationship carries its own set of challenges. Ty represents her past, the life she thought she would have, while Nathan represents her present, the life she's built after Ty's death. Both men offer her something, but neither is able to give her everything she needs. The idealized love she once had with Ty can never return, and the future with Nathan, though full of promise, is still clouded by doubt and uncertainty. Amy's internal struggle intensifies as she's forced to reckon with what she truly wants for her future. Is it enough to simply keep the memories of Ty alive? Or does she need to embrace the possibility of a new life with Nathan? Can she forgive herself for loving someone other than Ty? Can she let go of the past and the dreams they once shared? It's a painful, gut-wrenching journey, but it's also one that Amy must take alone. Her family and friends may offer their advice and support, but ultimately, the decision is hers. She must decide what kind of love she's willing to accept and what kind of future she's willing to build. As Amy's journey reaches its climax, the stakes grow even higher. Ty, realizing the weight of the decision on Amy's shoulders, begins to pull back, giving her the space she needs to decide. He knows that love can't be forced, and he's finally ready to accept that he may not be the man Amy chooses. But even in his quiet acceptance, Ty can't help but hope that maybe, just maybe, their love is strong enough to overcome the years that have passed. But he also knows that hope alone is not enough to rebuild what they had. On the other hand, Nathan continues to fight for Amy, not through forceful gestures, but through the quiet acts of support that have defined their relationship. He's there for her when she needs him most, offering a shoulder to lean on and a heart that won't falter. He's not perfect, and neither is their relationship. But Nathan's commitment to Amy is unwavering. He knows that the decision Amy is facing is not just about love. It's about healing, moving forward, and accepting that the past cannot be undone. But Amy's choice won't just affect her heart. It will affect her daughter, Lindy, who has grown up with the idea that Ty was her father and that Nathan was the man who stood by them both. Lindy has witnessed the tug of war between these two men, and her own feelings are tangled in the mix. Amy must ask herself, what is best for Lindy? What kind of future does she want to give her daughter? The pressure of making a decision not only for herself, but for her child adds an additional layer of complexity to the situation. As the emotional tension reaches its peak, Amy is forced to make a choice. Ty's return has reopened wounds she thought had healed, but the love they once shared may not be enough to overcome the distance between them. Nathan, steadfast and supportive, offers Amy the chance to move forward and embrace a new chapter of her life. But the question remains, which path will Amy choose? The man who represents her past, or the man who represents her future? The coming weeks will test Amy's strength and resolve, and the entire Heartland community is left wondering which direction she will take. Will she choose the past with Ty, or will she find the courage to embrace a new future with Nathan? The answer is more than just a love story. It's the heart of Heartland. And as season 19 unfolds, the final decision will shape the course of Amy's future forever. I welcome your thoughts in the comments. For more such videos you can subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and like our video. See you again. Goodbye.